Hello. After some days of vacation, it really needs now to go forward with the Fajak. How is the status? We have the convertible top designed now in the bow area, and the next task, hopefully to be managed in this month till end of June, will be to design the convertible top also in the rear area. And to save time with not producing so many parts, it might make sense to have a look first in my old grab bag, where all the parts I have produced for the Fajak are stored. Maybe we will find there some useful parts. Yes, and over the years quite a lot has accumulated. Wheels, or for example, an early idea of an axe hub steering. But this is what I'm searching for. Before we can start now with constructing or designing the convertible top in the rear area, we need to take a decision again. We need to know how far we need to open the convertible top in the bow area so that the occupant has enough space for sitting and pedaling in this area here. And for that, quite helpful should be the dimensional drawing we already produced. I believe it was in March. Yes, with all dimensions we need to take this decision. Okay, 2 points are now important for the final designing of the convertible top. One point is the position of the eyes. That is important for a good view ahead. And the second point is the space here, which we need for pedaling with our foot. That looks like this. We can stand in worst case with our heel on the pedal, then we have the complete foot length up to this position. So in this position we would not like to have contact from below to the convertible top, and in this region we would like to be over the convertible top for a good view ahead. So how's now the situation? We need to open up our convertible top up to this position, that we have here enough space for pedaling with our foot. And then we see that we have in this region here the highest point of the convertible top, which is not so good in my opinion, because the feeling, at least the feeling, could be or could arise that we need to look over the convertible top. So we have here a distance from about 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 millimeters, and the corrective measure, I think, could be to position the deck struts about 50 millimeters further back, which will have the additional possibility or the additional advantage that we can then have a better connection to our rear deck strut, where we have now a gap which needs to be closed. A further necessity of positioning the struts 50 millimeters back is of course the fact that we need to get over the shoulders of the occupant with the struts like this. Yeah, because of putting the struts about 50 millimeters further back, I have another contact angle here in this region, so I need to backfill this area here. And now I would like to know where our foots will be located relatively to the deck struts if we are pedaling. And as we can see, we are positioned with the left foot about half below the deck strut. Okay. And according to the principle form for this function, we are designing now with one line the convertible top. So in etwa könnte die Kanzel aussehen. The day before yesterday, a new constructive aspect arose I would like to explain shortly. Initially, I wanted to use this part as cover for the tail box with two slanted pieces of wood so that the water from above can suddenly flow away, typically kayak form. And that we have in the tail a stable bending torsion box, like explained in, I think, episode 2. But if we use now a deck strut which can be turned up, like we do this in the bow area, then we don't need anymore this specially kayak formed cover for the tail box, because the fabric will go over the deck strut here, and we have then the slanted surface for the water to drain the water suddenly. We still need to close this box to have a stable bending torsion box. But we can use then a flat cover like this. That will have the advantage that we hopefully can store the wheels better. Hopefully, we will see. Pause. Now we have already Thursday, June 19th, and I'm still struggling with the problem of where to store the bike wheels under the condition of having access to the rear storage space. Okay, I think I will store the wheels like this. The one in this position and the other like this. Yes, and then last weekend I was finally able to get started on the stern ferrying. I usually try to avoid to over-egg the pudding, but I made an exception for the stern ferrying. The stern ferrying will be thicker than on regular kayaks. It will also be thicker than necessary to store the wheels. This will allow me to attach the canopy more easily, and I'll gain additional storage space and buoyancy in strong seas behind me. I'll just try this out as a test, rather than the disadvantage of being more susceptible to crosswinds. That's it for now in this episode. My great hope for the coming month of July is to finally complete the remaining work on the model and thus the concept phase after 20 years. Hopefully I can do it.